Hold on here. Trying to. This camera situated. Time kind of creeps up on you sometimes, man. Alright, I thought there was something else I was trying to do, but I don't see what it is. Whoa, I see comments. Uh, okay. Well, thanks, Free Flow, wherever you're at, whether you're here or somewhere else at the moment. Whoa. I don't know why that thing all of a sudden decided to move after all this time. I didn't really have a main goal of getting on here tonight other than I got on here earlier today, and this basically gives time for the evening crowd. If there's anybody that's got anything they want to talk about or what have you. So I'll give a minute, hang out here, see what happens. Go get another cup of coffee. So don't mind me as I disappear for just a second. So, sorry. Eey. All right, shows three people. Hey, how you doing, Fifth? Everybody feeling all right today? Anything they want to talk about? Any interesting epiphanies? Some knowledge come to you? Like I've said over and over, we're all carrying pieces of puzzle. Anybody's got anything to share? Share. And I will figure out how to get a call in set up on this show. I just gotta start digging around a little more, I guess. I need to do something with creating more of that stuff they call time, though. Seems to be, even though the days are longer this time of year, it's like if you try and get a correct 8 hour sleep, it seems like the days aren't that long. So maybe a 32-hour day with the way time's going right now, which I don't think will change much, but who knows? Anyways, getting silly. You're just okay. Yeah. Well, there's many that's been saying that's what we need to get out of right now, especially today. Today's the day out of time. You're more best to stick with spirit today than thinking. Um, I, for some reason, before I remembered that and listened to a transmission, got up this morning with the intention of I want to create more. Well, what do I need to do? First off, I need to get my desk and all this shit situated to where I have everything in one whole area. Boom, and I can just do everything I need to. And I just got up and started, moving and doing stuff like that instead of thinking. Because I'm not trying to figure out anything else more with any of these theories or any of this shit. There's our creator. We're all part of that. We're all to tune into that. And through the holographic nature of what the hell everything is, we're going to change it all. And that's all I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know exactly what's going on in the sky and all that shit. It's not affecting me. I'm watching it. Things are, there's some things that are cool, but as far as NASA, the planets, all that shit. Every now and then I'll look into something, but I'm not trying to get to the bottom of what everything is. I've stopped for now. It's too much bullshit. It's getting in the way of ascending. you know? And to ascend, all I got to do is like everybody else. Just go to my heart space. Return to innocence. Return to the child that you are. And not the damaged child. Fix everything. But the childlike state It's like I was saying earlier, that song, it just come up at a certain point in life again. That Enigma song, Return to Innocence. And it means everything because you return to heart. Returning to heart returns you to divinity, to the one. That's what it's all about. Even the twin flame thing is you, balanced within yourself, within the one. It's kind of like the whole Trinity thing. You, your soul, you, your male and feminine side, balanced within the wholeness of the one. And at that point, you're you could be anywhere on Earth and you know where your home is. You could be anywhere on any planet, any form of energy that you like. Always know where your home is because it's that oneness, a 0 point state within your soul and within what created everything. When you find those things and tune into those kind of things, you just kind of let everything go for a little while. I've always been known to overthink. Very curious minded. That's why I've done well in like jobs and creative things that I've done and different stuff because I always want to know exactly how and why things work. So I totally understand it. Hey, hello, Darla. What's up? Came to give you my thumbs up. Well, isn't that nice? Thank you. Um, yeah, but we know the energy is going to be intense. They still got like what, 10 weeks of this crap through this whole other galactic thing, all the way up until I don't know if it was November or the end of the year. I'd have to look. But either way, we know at this point in time that things have to be intense out there to purge as much as can be purged from the collective consciousness as a whole. We're able to do that, then they're able to feel their heart space and tune in. It's hard to tune in if they ain't purged the bullshit, and we all know how that is. It ain't like one day you awaken and a unicorn goes flying over and farts out a giant rainbow, and you're like, everything's beautiful. Takes a little bit of work. Sometimes it's not work that you want to repeat or talk about again. You just go, I accept it. I have gratitude, and let's not discuss it. Like somebody asking me about something that just happened last week. I was like, I think this is going to be the last time I talk about it, but I'm going to let you know. So, she wanted to know what happened. So I did. And I was like, all right, book closed. Not only is the book closed, but I Jumanji'd that bastard. I burned it into ashes, and then I buried it. It didn't exist. It did as far as what I needed to learn from it, but not the emotions and hanging on to crap kind of thing. I'm done. I don't care if I get to one point and it's kind of like all of a sudden memories just completely disappeared. Not just the emotion, just the whole memory and everything. If it wasn't worth anything and I learned from it already, I don't care. Whatever. And obviously needed it at this moment. It's the now. It's that flow. That's where I'm staying at. And I've been doing that all day, and it's cool. And nature, of course, as we keep saying with nature, but a lot of it, especially with today, because being day out of time, kind of like to some can seem kind of Twilight Zoney, you know. But that's because you're leaning more into spirit dimension. So best thing to do is kick your damn shoes off if you can and walk around outside, whether it be in the grass, beach sand, whatever to your feet feels normal and is grounding you, and watch nature and absorb yourself into everything. And then tomorrow, say, starts the Galactic New Year, which I was saying earlier is kind of interesting because I never knew that stuff growing up. But all kinds of major life decisions in my life always came about this month. Even the quitting drinking, like I said, I never kept track of days, but it was this month 16 years ago. And it was last year this month that I finally got out of Detroit. Oh, and ended up here. Which, like I said, I got all the shopping I need back that way, trees that way. The only reason I'm trying to move out of here next year is because, well, I'm bound for getting back to rural. But as far as town area goes, it's a good little area. They even got a big cool tree over there, and I swear to God, I just have to say it, man. Things from the like elemental world and the Fey type of energy lives out in that field. So it is what it is. It lives there. So like I said, as far as town goes, pretty all right. Oh yeah, dinner. Dun, 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 dun. I myself am well. I'm not saying that I'm always this way. I have my moments too. But the cool thing is, they don't last long now because you can see them as they happen. You can go, oh, okay, and just take care of things accordingly. So that way it doesn't become one of them things by the end of the day you figure out what it was and you've had a really weird day or a crappy day or a trying day. You know, able to be very observant when you're in flow state. So that way your day don't go get all out of whack and weirded out. Because it can easily happen to anybody, with all intense energies. But if you just go with the flow, man, you'll just flow right in between the shit. You'll be able to see stuff, and it's like, ooh. But when you start getting all up in your head and analyzing shit, you're back in the 3D hardcore, and you're missing flow state, and you're missing your messages, and you're missing your downloads, and you're missing your peace and harmony. Stay in flow state. It ain't no different than you go out to the ocean, you get caught in like a rip current or something, You don't fight that. You start fighting against that. You're going to actually get pulled more out into it. What you got to do is you got to flow back out of that into the regular current, break free of it. But if you're trying to fight it, it's just like quicksand. Try and fight quicksand, same thing, man. Pull you in. Well, it all depends on you and how you are. For me, sometimes I can hit kind of like a meditative state pretty quick, and when I can't, uh, cannabis. And if stuff's really weird and trying, I don't like to a whole lot during the day because too much of it can make you feel kind of dreamy. But valerian root, but you'll have to look into what brands and stuff. That's some cheap stuff. And like I said, it's dependent too if it's like whole root condensed. You know how it is. How many milligrams and that kind of stuff. Um, but I take that before bed too. But I have taken it during the day like a person with a nerve pill. Yep. But it's kind of neat though, because if you take it like during the evening, before quite a ways, like take one around 6 and then take a couple before bed. Like, so after 6, I do that, and then maybe I smoke a little bit, and it's weird. I start having like dream recall and shit, because I normally get that way at that time of night, anyways. Anymore, I don't know what happened, but when I do that, sometimes it's like really start getting some dream recall stuff, and really get like interdimensional feeling and then get ready for bed. And here lately, I've just been listening to different things when I go to sleep. Last night it was crickets. Oh yeah, crickets and low flute, Native American flute. And one night it was rain and some other stuff. Sometimes I'll throw in frequencies if they're needed. Sometimes just a little ambiance can help to settle it. And then there's sometimes where I just don't want to hear shit and it's earplugs. But I haven't did that in probably a couple weeks now. I've been sleeping out here listening to, like, I'll shut down my regular computer during the night, and I'll turn on that little laptop and open either one or two YouTube windows and have it coming through my surround sound and just set the speakers right next to my bed, right by my head, right in front of the fan. Yeah, sometimes it's all you got to do, like you said, lay your head on the pillow with the dream recall. Sometimes I think it's just a matter of relaxing or when you're getting more of a in a flow state and you're more meditative in the mind, sometimes that stuff will start happening. Because I'll get up sometimes and won't remember dreams, just a bit or a piece of them, and then later on in the day or evening, I'll start having some recalls. I said that one earlier that's so weird because I usually don't have like really predominant anything said as far as dream recall. This morning I was like, man, what was the stuff I was watching and things yesterday? I found a movie, I ended up watching Doctor Strange, and I don't know, man. I went to get up this morning, and I heard it was like the last thing I heard before I woke up. It was like the atmosphere is through half of its life cycle. I woke up out of bed and I went, "The hell does that mean?" I was like, that means absolutely nothing to me. I was like, I bet you 20 years from now that'll mean nothing. It's got to be some jumbled stuff. But we'll see as time goes on. I hope it doesn't mean anything. If it does, it still don't really mean anything because I'm convinced that reality is constantly changing through holographic nature, anyways, and that's what the Mandela effect shows us. So I guess it doesn't really matter what the atmosphere in my dream was like to begin with, because if you're flipping realities, then it would be a different atmosphere. Probably too much YouTube and throwing in a movie. Sometimes that happens. You get a lot of goofy stuff going on up there. Yeah. Um, I've been watching a little bit into that. I had this guy I was watching there as far as the stimulus thing. I just been debating what to do there. I think I just use a couple $100 to get some stuff around here and then bury the rest of it until I figure out. I've got a year before my lease is up, or just under a year now because I completed a month. And I'm going to figure out what I'm doing and where I'm going. Because anything could happen. I mean, I could turn around this time next year and be living in a some kind of motorhome going across the country. I don't know, man. That's the thing about flow state. You have something in mind, but it just really depends on what my higher self ends up saying. Still think I'm bound and determined for a rural area where I can do all the stuff I need to, but I've learned one thing very important in life. Change is everything. Without change, I don't see how you're going to enjoy life, especially if you're pointed at changing everything for the better. So, with that being said, any darn thing could happen or change, and I'm cool with it. You know, whatever it be. Universal basic income. You know, if they figured out some better way of shit, because it's just so goofy. The way we get our Social Security and stuff. They know they're going by old figures. They know they're putting people into poverty and shit. If we could even stuff out amongst people, then we could be a little more normal and stuff. Not to mention, I just, like I said, I like having a neighborhood that's like a community so I can do shit like I used to. I got farm eggs from my neighbor, and my neighbor knew if she ever needed blackberries, I grew so many damn blackberries. Hell, you could make 20 pies or whatever you wanted to out of them. I'd just take them in the house and throw them on cereal and all kind of stuff, man. They're huge too. But stuff like that. People trade back and forth services and stuff, and then if you do get some kind of basic income or some kind of money or whatever kind of system we end up using, then yeah, you could do your other stuff because you know some people might want to work regular jobs and do that kind of thing still. So cool. There's stuff that I don't completely want to go back to horse and buggy days. I mean, I like some of the new technologies and shit to come out. I've always been into like science fiction stuff, waiting for stuff from James Bond and Star Wars and Star Trek and all that stuff to become real, and quite a few things have. I'm still waiting for the damn transporter though, man. I really want a closet sized transporter. It's the most oddest thing in the world. You can't get me on an airplane, but I have no problem with you rearranging my molecules and sending them somewhere else. Yeah, I'm a little bit different like that. uh, hey, what's up, Thomas? How you doing? I got birds playing in the background here. The soundtrack is just birds in the forest playing. So kind of imitates me sitting outside talking to you guys, which I would do, but man, that phone, it's just not worth doing. I know the feed would be all messed up and everything, so I don't even attempt it. Plus, it's kind of hot out there today, man. It was like all they did was walk to the grocery store to get a couple boxes of crackers. Damn. I felt like if I was out there just another 10 minutes, I probably would have got sunburnt. I'm already tan, so whatever. Great day at work? Cool. That's always awesome when you can say a great day at work, you know? You hear so many people complain about their jobs, so it's always good when you have a great day at work. I know there were some jobs I worked that I liked, you know? There were some ones that, like factory stuff, that really sucked. But I even had good days, you know, and interesting times and stuff working at a sawmill where all I did was just cut lumber like real fast all day. Or, well, they cut lumber, I stacked lumber, you know, mainly. It's funny, I keep hearing all these birds playing on this soundtrack. Keeps making me like look outside, you know, like thinking the birds are out there, but they're not. I do have some that every so often. Well, not as much now. They're pretty much up near to the soffit of the roof area, but they were up on top of my air conditioner, um, which was cool through the winter when they started, you know, coming in towards the spring because you could hear them. But then, of course, you start running the air conditioner, you know, they ain't hanging out there as much. I seen a I seen a really cool dragonfly this morning when I took the dog on a walk. I was like just sitting there looking at it, trying to figure out what color it was, man, because it was like a really cool blue, but like metallic, like electric, like a. It's kind of like an electric blue, but a little bit pale, almost like a lighter baby blue kind of thing, if that makes any sense, with some metallic in it. It's like somebody mixed up a really cool color, you know, like paint a car or a guitar or something, you know, whatever motorcycle with. And there you go, dragonfly, and it comes and it landed on a piece of grass. Because I was tripping out at first, I was like, "How's it hovering without its wings even moving?" And then I realized it was sitting on a blade of grass and had its wings back, and I was like, "Oh." Pressure treated lumber, cut and stack lumber. Yeah, I worked at two sawmills in West Virginia. One of them, we cut a lot of raw wood and got turned into pallets and shit. And we cut some grade lumber, a little bit of every now and then we do some maple, but mainly just like red oak and shit. Which it was really interesting because when you're moving that stuff along them chains, you know that lumber, you don't want light lumber, man, because it gets like that wood gets really porous and stuff, and it gets stuck on them damn chains. And you're trying to slide it around, you know. So poplar, people think, oh, well, if you're gonna stack lumber, you want to stack poplar. Well, not if it's coming down a conveyor chain and you got to drag it off that chain because it just you know wants to get caught. But if you got even like big ass pieces of red oak, I don't care if it's a big ass chunk, you know, big cant, big huge part of the tree. You know, you just slide it, lay on it, and you know, right onto the stack. You know, but I always hated when we. It was funny. I always hated when we did that light stuff. They're like, "Oh, we're going into you know whatever grade maple," and it's like, "Oh man, I'd rather be doing red oak." Interesting the stuff you learn when you work in places like that. Yeah, all we did is we cut stuff right from tree, man. Had loggers coming out from the forest bringing trees in, and we just cut the trees, cut them into raw lumber, send them out. But like I said, the one sawmill, we did have some people who run shit through machines and cut them and run, make stringers and stuff for them and send them to the back room, and they'd make pallets. We made custom pallets too for big ass shit, because we had a machine that did pallets, and then we had guys that custom made pallets, and they actually made some long pallets for like, I think they said it was for like beds or something. But that second sawmill was so ridiculous. I had to quit, or I was going to hit the owner with a 2x4. He was an asshole. I mean, seriously. He was really cocky and had a bad ego. He's like, yeah, we cut more lumber than any sawmill in the whole county. Well, sure we did. It was like slave stuff, and it was weird, man, because all the people who cut the lumber were the Amish, and all the people that stacked the lumber were just us, you know, regular people from around the area, which was pretty much just some white guys from farming territory. It's kind of strange because we actually went out to their area in Ohio where the Amish lived, and they all were in horses and buggies and everything, but they had a person that would drive them into a sawmill where it was all electric. So it was interesting, and they had a main guy that like negotiated contract. What he did was he got a certain amount for all his people, and then he just took care of them himself. It's really trippy. But the guy ended up that I worked for. He ended up dying. He got in a motorcycle accident, some other stuff, blah blah blah. He ended up getting a clot in his leg, went right to his heart, killed him. Right after I quit, me and my friend quit. It got like noon one day, and he was just being an ass, man, saying stupid shit. And my friend looked at me and he's like, "I've had enough of his shit, man. I'm about ready to get my check at lunchtime and just leave and quit. What do you think?" I'm like, "I'm with you, dude. I've had enough." I said, "I got to get out of here. I'm gonna, I ain't gonna really hit nobody with a 2x4, but I for sure would have opened my mouth and caused a big ass scene because I was just tired of it." So we got our check, said goodbye. That was it. We never went back. Things happen. Person can only be pushed so far. Cool. Pleasant dreams are always a great thing to have. Oh, cool, man. I've been wanting to get some of them tuning forks there, Fifth. Let's see here. Mid ohm. I've looked into some of that stuff, man. Sets of them and individual ones because I thought of just getting a couple individual ones to start with. I also found what I want really bad, man, is a didgeridoo in low C, and that's what it is. It's the ohm frequency. According to, I have to go look up to make sure, but according to them, that's what it was. It was a C, but you could tell it was probably it was a low octave C. It'd be like hitting the end of a keyboard. It's boom. But that's just there's something just very, very, very tribal spiritual in my soul about that, man. I need me a didgeridoo. But the whole thing is the only one that I found, because I didn't look a whole bunch of places. I looked on Amazon. Was plastic. And I'm not buying a plastic didgeridoo. I mean, money wise, that's probably all I could afford. But if I'm gonna get it, I'm just gonna have to wait and save up money or something. But them things ain't cheap. They're a few $100s. That little flute over there I got, it's small, so I got it for like I don't know about $50 or something. But I'd like to get an actual another native flute, but I want the actual. Um, they claim F sharp basically is their key. The natives here in America, and that's a lot lower than what that thing is. That's A sharp. That's complete opposite end. So I like the lower, but then again, I mean, you can see that I like the lower frequencies, and that's where I try and tell people the frequency. It ain't so much that high and low, like with the ascending and all that, it's incorrect frequency, out of balance frequency. If you look at the cymatics, you can see that. You can have low frequencies that are healing to you. I mean, technically, the Earth only going up to 50, and they're talking, oh, 100 frequencies. That's not really that high, guys. That's the register of my bass guitar over there. You know, this string right here, this E string open, that's 40 hertz, man. That's a low frequency. But that thing's tuned at 432, so it goes along with the sacred math tuning. So therefore, and if you measured the waves coming off of that using cymatics, you would get a pretty picture or metaphysical shapes, on your plate or your water, however you want to transmute that sound from that, bass. Yeah. I had a friend that kept saying it to the universe. She's manifesting me a singing bowl. Well, we're manifesting it. You know, it'll come somehow. I just hope it don't fall from the sky because I really don't want hitting head with a singing bowl. Yeah, that remote viewing, I did that by accident once, and it was really weird, man. It was like with the pharmaceutical companies and the government, and a lot of it was through Phil. Hey, what's up, Bruce? Busy with trolls. Them damn things, I swear. It's a weekend. It's like, people get bored sitting in their mom's basement all day, so they got to have something to do. They just go and try and pick on people. Crazy. I'm sure they're not all trolls are that way, but obviously trolls are people that have a sickness, whether it be mentally or they just hate themselves and they take it out on everybody else. That's about all I can say. I don't get it, man. Sometimes I just have to laugh at them. Unless they really, really get bad, start poking around your life. And then that's annoying because I mean, I don't want to sound violent, but it's annoying because you can't just knock the shit out of them. If they knew you could do that to them, they would stop trolling people. That's the bad thing about the internet. When you're kids, you go to school, somebody would think to themselves, or if I'm an asshole to Joe when he comes to school tomorrow, he's going to knock the crap out of me. But it don't happen like that on the internet because people are like, you can't touch me. I'm behind a computer. It's like, for real, get a hobby. Get a hobby, man. This is a great big world with a whole bunch of interesting stuff to do, all kind of cultures creating and inventing stuff. Get a hobby. Don't let it be me. I am not your hobby. Yeah, I know. Jeez. That's a bad thing there, Bruce. You got a hobby and a job all rolled into one. It's like I don't have time for you trolls. I got a lot to do. And the thing is your job is actually kind of like jobs I used to have in construction. It is based upon the weather. That telescope, it doesn't see through clouds, so you got to, pay attention to these different things, know when to do stuff. If there's an alignment you want to see, or a comet or whatever, you got to know when that stuff is. Kind of hard to do when when you're fighting with people that ain't got a life. I swear, I don't get it, man. I've had all kind of hobbies and stuff I did, and some of it I wasn't real good at, but I tried it. I went on to other things, and some of it I still do. I still draw and doodle and stuff. Can I draw real well? No, but I like to doodle. That's all that counts. Get too bored during the winter. I used to do puzzles. My kitchen table, I wasn't using it. I'd like eat in the living room. So, for a couple years, my kitchen table during the winter time always had an incomplete puzzle. And anybody who went near the kitchen table, if you wanted to put a piece in, go ahead, pull up a chair and work on it for a little while, and walk off and do something else. Whoa. Tesla being alive. Hold on. Do I need to back something up? I think I missed part of a conversation. Let me turn down the birds in the background here. I seen something just go by that had me kind of curious. All right, what are you all talking about here? What you talking about, Willis? Dun, 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 dun. Who has a couple didgeridoos? I want a didgeridoo. I am the human didgeridoo. Um, let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. I am very well. Ha ha. I am beautiful. Entire universe emanated from the moon. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. Maybe I didn't miss anything. Maybe I Mandela affected myself. Is that possible? That I keep like jogging back and forth because my energy's too high and I'm like bouncing different timelines, getting confused. All right, slow down, hyper child. You're bouncing back and forth from timeline to timeline. That'd be like some shit you'd see on the X Men, you know? It's like, ah, crap, the kids are at it again. What's going on in there? Well, they aren't realizing their powers and they're bouncing back and forth between timelines and Mandela affecting the whole world. Can you go tell them to sit down? And believe it or not, you know what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. That's awesome. Oh, I'll be right back. Not to be rude. If you'd like, I'd point the camera outside, but there ain't no cool clouds or anything. There's this. I don't even know if it's a haze. I don't know what the hell you call that out there. That kind of cloud looking stuff. So I got to look into starting a call-in show in here. Maybe setting up a party line and shit. We'll all call in and talk about stuff, man. Get things figured out. Hey, man, who's throwing around the hearts? What's up, Rayoff? Man, Dana effect. Oh, your life is a puzzle. Well, you know what, Bruce? Welcome to the club. There are times when I walk around literally saying, "Who am I?" Oh shit, the Mandana. uh, that's what I said the world was doing the other day. I'm like, we can't be part of the world. They're like, ah, these pieces don't fit. We're gonna make them fit. You know, that's what the 3D world does. They're like, yeah, yeah, no, no, no. We're just gonna cram it all together. They don't even use scissors. They're more barbaric about it. They're the ones that put the puzzle piece in there and it don't fit, and they just pound the shit out of it until it goes into place. Them kind of people. At least you take scissors or an exacto knife and try and get it in there right. uh, Most of them just beat them with their fists. Me make it fit. Ah, I swear that's what I felt like I've watched for like the last 20 years or so. De-evolution of the world. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, we're going backwards. What the hell happened? The world's devolving. Yeah, that's not good. Luckily, I see things changing, but there for a minute, things were starting to get kind of, yeah, a little kind of worrying. I can say one thing. When I started realizing that there's literally interdimensional beings coming in and they were getting concerned enough to shutting down nuclear stuff, I went, well, at least we got that. If it gets too stupid, The beings from the other dimensions are not going to let us like vaporize the whole planet. They'll at least come in and shut down the nuclear shit so we won't destroy it all. That's good to know. I mean, for real. Because I was watching some stuff where they were talking about the nuclear arsenal here, and they had some shit that is so freaking, oh my god. I'm like, really? That's got to be the worst idea ever. That is so barbaric. It's like over in Nevada stuff. They had these Nike missiles, and they said basically what it is. It's like giant lawn darts. If an attack came from the west coast of America, let's say they flew in planes, right? Some nuclear planes. What the idea was they're shooting these missiles up, and they go up in the air, and then they run out of energy to go up, and then they're top heavy, and they fall. And as they fall, of course, being a nuclear explosive, you don't want it to hit the thing. You want it to blow up above the target, push the energy down. So it gets above the planes and then blows them up in the sky. The problem is you lose part of Nevada, part of Arizona, was it Colorado or something? You like wipe out a giant circle of America, and their idea was, it's cool. We can wipe out that many people. We save everybody else with a giant lawn dart with a nuclear warhead on it. So when they said that, I'm like, that's like lawn darts, man. What the hell's wrong with these people? They said well, they ain't using them no more, luckily, or hopefully. Who really knows? I'm not sure if I want to know the true answer to that, anyways. Except the pieces being distorted, pretend to some matrix. Hey, taking off fifth? Up, see you later, man. Yeah, I keep getting up, walking over there because it's a lot easier to do that than trying to put the glasses on and squinting like that. I'm like, yeah, screw it. I could do it on the laptop, but yeah, I don't know, man. That laptop's acting kind of weird. It's got a. It ended up getting a 32-bit program put on it, and it's a 64-bit computer. It's an old computer that's been like, it's got. It's got enough tags on it to where it looks like somebody's mailed it across the country from how many times it's been upgraded. That's how old it is. You know, it don't like the new systems. It's like it can't handle it. But at the same time, it's got half of the system it's supposed to have in it. That's a long story. Oh wow, been out here 42 minutes. Did you have a night thing you were doing tonight, Bruce? I know you do the French channel thing. I want to end up being on here too long, keeping anybody behind if they're doing anything. I figure I just, for now, do these videos, give us all time to talk and hang out. You know, not only can we help each other with this whole process, everything going on, but hell, we can just BS and be friends and do the whole community thing, have somebody to talk to, all that good stuff. And yeah, I went and rearranged some stuff so I could start working on the music things and more video stuff and yeah, just do some cool stuff like that. Um, I got to do a bunch of tutorial stuff though. Learn a bit of things. Oh man, I swear it used to be so much easier to make music. Of course, I got way more stuff I can do now musically, but it was so much easier back in the day when you would just stick a damn cassette tape in the 4/8 track recorder and you close it, and then you move a couple sliders, hit a couple buttons, and then go and play, and then do that again and mix it all up, and there you go. But yeah, you got to know these Pro Tools and Appleton. I'm trying to mess with Appleton Live right now. Pro Tools, I don't know what I don't. I think there might be something wrong with that thing. It just gives me a blank screen with nothing to do on it. And I got a bunch of plugins that I somehow can't get into the Appleton, so I got to figure all that stuff out. And the unfortunate thing is I know what it takes. I don't mind practice, like practice with an instrument you're playing. It's nice, but with this, it's like hours of listening to people go. push this button, drag this here, drag that there, clip here, push here. It's like, oh Lord. uh, so I've got to try and get in my head that it's fun and convince myself it's going to be fun before I go into it. Because if I go into it thinking like I am now, all I'm going to hear is blah 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 blah. Probably getting that done. Oh shoot. Um, I'm offline. Am I still offline? The trolls got you cut off. IT guy. Yeah. Well, oh yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. You tried to do your live feed and it got all messed up. Yeah. At least that's one thing, being IT guy. At least you ain't got some of the problems that a lot of us end up having. We got to find IT guys in the computer or one in the neighborhood, and the ones in the neighborhood want to charge too much stupid prices to do shit. So try to use the YouTube. Bad thing is, my aunt's a retired engineer from IBM, but she lives in Alabama, and she's got this weird thing with not using new systems and stuff. It's strange. I got a lot of friends like that. And I told them, I said, I can't use my programs with the old systems. I have to use the new systems. They're like, oh, the new ones suck. It's set up like apps. And I'm like, well, I know, but if I use anything less than Windows 10, all the programs that I bought are not going to work. They're going to be like half-ass usable. That's the only thing I hate about technology is it's constantly upgrading. And you're having to constantly upgrade with it. And it's like, dude, I'm not made of money here. Yeah, I was one of the people that was on XP until pretty close to they were about done giving any support. The last computer, then that computer went down, and I didn't go on the internet for quite a few years, man. Wasn't on Facebook or nothing. Just living out in the country doing shit. Computer was sitting in the closet because my daughter had somebody sent something goofy on Facebook, and she went and clicked on it, and bam, it went through my computer and hit every program and started wiping them to the whole damn computer was crap. But it was an older computer, so whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of tripping. I've seen here what you guys are talking about. It says something about wrist and didn't write anything. I gotta make sure it's really him, anyways, man. There's people like making fake channels and fake stuff on the internet. Hard to say. Huh? Yeah, he is. Might want to go to Darla's thing there, Bruce, and see about that comment. Because I'm telling you, I seen you being somebody saying it's on Facebook saying it was you or channel dealing with you or something. Was that like 3 months ago? It's crazy. People impersonating people. That's freaky, man. Kind of makes me want to get off Facebook shit just so nobody can take my pictures and stuff. You never know what weird people are doing on the internet. I mean, it can be good for some things, but wow, there's some weird shit that goes on it. First computer, I don't know what my first computer was, but the first computer I ever used was a an IBM computer that my aunt had got early 1980s. It didn't really do shit because we were learning on computers in school, and there was no internet, and you had to spell everything exactly right, or they said syntax error, which was happening to me all the time because my spelling sucked. And then you do like a thing that said happy birthday, and it was on a dot matrix printer, and you had a whole stack of paper, and it'd go in through this little feed, and it'd go just spit this thing out, and it'd be a long thing of a bunch of dotted paper, and that's what it'd be. Happy birthday would be wrote in dots, because that little thing would just go tick, 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 tick. It was, man, it was like Atari type of shit, with the little square pixels type of thing going on. Like rock stars and pro athletes. Yeah, it's because nobody knew shit about computers or anything. So yeah, the IT guys were like, "Oh, you know some stuff," you know. Now they teach a lot of like basic computer stuff in schools and things anymore. So yeah, back in those days, it was a little different. I remember my mom had a boyfriend. He went to some tech school, and he built a little computer, but it was like a little computer. It's basically a glorified calculator. It did a little bit, but not much. It was something, one of the projects they did. It was kind of like back in the days when you went to Radio Shack and you could buy kits and you could make like radios and stuff. It was like doing something like that, but it was a little more advanced than, of course, a transistor radio, you know? But I remember back in the days when they did all that shit. And then some years ago, I went to a Radio Shack. It's probably about 10 years ago. And I was trying to get a glass fuse for an old stereo that I had. And the guy looked at me like I just brought something in from like I went through a Stargate. He grabbed something from before time existed and brought it back to him. And I'm like, dude, it is a fuse for a radio. I'm in Radio Shack. But if I'd have looked at the guy and I would have said phone, he'd have been like, phone, oh, and just started speaking to me. When I said fuse for radio, he's like, whoa, is that a pterodactyl egg? Was, that's the way he was looking at me. Oh, shit. Crazy. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and crawl under ladies' desks. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Um, yeah, man, and do some creative stuff, you know, see what else is going on. Uh, yeah, man. I think I'm gonna play some music. That sounds like a good idea. I drank all that damn coffee. I might as well. I got a big open area here. I can move around a little bit. Play some music, stand up, play, get some exercise, that kind of thing. First discovered crystals in the shack. What, in a Radio Shack? I tell you what I like to do, and you never know with the direction society's going. But I've really been looking into the whole idea of shortwave radio, man. Back in the day, you had a lot of that shit, man. You used to trade around with friends for stuff, and remember had this one. It was kind of big, like this, kind of like you have a crazy boombox or something. And that thing had three different bands or something on it. I remember messing around with that thing, and I swear to God, man, I was getting like shit from Asia and stuff sounded Japanese and all kind of neat stuff on it. But that and like CB radios and that kind of stuff, man. I kind of like to go back and get stuff like that. Move out on some land, build a big ass antenna. Hell, if I'm far enough out, maybe I'll see if I can build me a Tesla tower. I'll just make it look like a tree so the government don't come after me. I go build a Tesla tower and it works, they're not gonna be happy. So I'll make it look like a tree. I'll do like they do with them stupid cell phone thing towers. Well, they don't do that here, but they do it in some other places I've seen. Here, they just stick up a cell phone tower. They don't give a shit what it looks like. They don't make it look like a tree. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Much love to y'all. Oh, Fender acoustic, nice man. I'm gonna eventually get me an acoustic guitar. I got that little electric thing to play on. So if I want guitar, so I got an electric guitar. I got two basses. The other one I got to put back together. I took it apart so I could do a stain job on it. It's a 4 string. And of course the other stuff. I'm gonna I'm gonna eventually build up a whole little collection of musical stuff. You know, just fun hobby. Anyways, good night. Much love to everybody. Great day or evening, whatever it is in your little part of the world. Um, and yeah, and remember, we are the conscious evolution. Peace be with you.